My journey to humanism took a circuitous route. In January of 1988, I first walked into this building to attend a workshop training volunteers leaving to work in Nicaragua. A flyer posted in the gallery described a Bach seminar with the Reverend Alexander Post leading it. I attended and was invited to attend Sunday services, so I thought, well, I could hear great music free on Sundays. But I was not interested in joining any religious organization. I had not yet identified my personal philosophy. I was raised and schooled a Roman Catholic, but I became doubtful of all Abrahamic teachings eventually. I have always felt like an outsider. Perhaps being part Native American played a role in this. My spiritual life consisted in being outside in nature, hiking, learning about birds and other wildlife. Another inspiration was classical music. Those are still the two main joys of my life and an important bond shared with my husband, David. My political activism probably goes back to my childhood. My mother and father, both musicians, divorced when I was very young. I was raised and very spoiled by my maternal grandparents, who provided a secure and loving home, although it was at times very chaotic and certainly unconventional. We had a variety of people coming to our home. Political ideas about working class struggles were of utmost importance. My grandfather was an organizer for the Railroad Trainmen's Union and would describe details about union strikes and the tribulations of the workers. My mom had joined the Socialist Workers' Party, and party meetings ensued in our household with long and excited discussions. I heard about revolutionary history and theories. This idyllic time, however, ended when my sister and I were sent to a Catholic convent boarding school in northern Wisconsin. This new atmosphere, with strict rules and enforced silence, was a major adjustment for us. For the first time in my life, I learned discipline and other things like how to mop floors, knit, crochet, and darn socks. We studied the lives of the saints and were taught to sing Gregorian chant, which I really enjoyed. I escaped this reality by reading, mostly history and exotic adventures of faraway lands. I was about 13 when further doubts arose about the basic dogma of the church. During my weekly confession, I was told that I must stop reading a book about Buddhism, or my sins would not be forgiven. I began to think that since the 4th century, after the Council of Nicaea, the church had deviated from the teachings of love and compassion of Jesus of Nazareth. In my view, he was put to death, not to save our lives, or our souls rather, but because he was a radical thinker who challenged the status quo of his church and of the state. After moving to California, I had a strange but memorable experience while hiking in Marin. I had climbed to the top of Mount Tamalpais and was so moved by the beauty of that setting that I lay down to absorb it, and I fell asleep. I awoke with a profound intuition of being one with the earth and all of nature. But back to the 90s. I began attending the UUSF on Sunday and became fascinated hearing about the transcendentalists. To me, their lives and actions represented a truer American spirit than many of our major historical figures. The abolitionists impressed me with their bravery and outspoken commitment to justice. Such original thought and talent, as personified by Margaret Fuller, a feminist, journalist, and adventuress. And my favorite, Henry David Thoreau, who not only kept detailed data on bird arrivals and departures, but wrote Civil Disobedience, a truly influential book about citizen resistance to tyranny. I am grateful I discovered a community that allows free thought without dogma, with a message of love, compassion, and justice. The humanist tradition relies on science and rational thought to solve human problems, and I believe offers a path forward for the future.